Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylee and today we're back on my island Ink Blot for another speed build video. Today we'll be making a space themed mini golf course for the cutest space bunny in the game. This is probably my favorite build on this island so far, so let's get right into it. As always, I'm going to whip out our terraforming tool because our first step for this build is going to be to lay down some pathing. And I'm just extending this multicolored tile code that we used in our previous build for the toy shop, and I'll be filling in this whole area with just this one code. And you can see in the background that I did extend our little patch of trees, flowers, and shrubs farther to the left to extend all the way past the building that we're making today. And that's just because I wanted to fill the awkward little gap between the back of our building and the road that leads to the rock concert. After laying down all of our coding, I'm going to get started working on the terraforming for a single level cliff for our building. And this building shape is going to be a little different from the other ones that we have on our island so far. This building is going to be made up of 2 rows of 8 and then a single row of 6 in the front. I also wanted to mention that I got the inspiration for this building shape and style by the amazing Tropikitch. I don't believe they're still making any Animal Crossing content, but I will have all their socials listed down below so you can check out some of their amazing builds and islands. And now I'm finishing covering the rest of the ground on our cliff with a black tile code, and this will act like the roof of our building, so I'm covering the whole thing with custom codes so you can't see any of the snow. Now we're going to start placing some of our simple panels in the front of the building. Unlike most of the other buildings on this island, this one will not have any of the items behind the simple panels. The panels will just be right up against the edge of the cliff, so the overall building will be slightly smaller and shorter. For our custom codes, we have our window and our door in the center, and then on either side of that we have some more windows with the mini golf sign written on them. The words mini golf on the window might look a little low, but that's because we'll be placing stalls in front of them on both sides, and when you look at the building straight on, you can see the words through the stalls, and I think that is so cute. To cover the single tiles on either side of the front of the building, we're going to be adding a drink machine on the left, and then on the right side we're adding an ABD machine. And then to cover both sides of the building, I'm using 2 more of the stalls, and this just helps to cover the sides of the cliff without being too tall and messing up the shape of the building that we'll be making on the roof. Then to decorate the roof, I'm starting with 2 of the diner counters in the very front facing different directions, and I'm leaving 2 open tiles in the center. And then I'm going to be adding 2 more of the diner counters behind the first ones by having them 1 tile farther out to the side so they stick out by a single tile, and this will leave 4 empty tiles in the center. Between the second row of diner counters, I'm adding a crescent moon chair, and then I'll be adding a second one directly behind that one in the third row, and it'll be facing the opposite direction. And on either side of the crescent moon chairs in the back, I'm also adding a glowing moss balloon in the white variant. And I made this cute little graphic of the building. If you want to recreate this build, you can just follow the placement of each items in this picture. Now I'm just going to spend some time decorating the outside of our mini golf store, and for the front of the building I decided to go with 2 sets of the diner tables and chairs. When I went mini golfing as a child, they always had these like picnic type tables outside for you to eat your snacks, so that's kind of the vibe I was going for. I did almost use the bistro tables for this, but the umbrellas covered too much of the building, so I just went with a simple diner set. And there aren't a whole lot of black and white food items, so I just went with the black variant of the popcorn and drink and a custom designed water bottle. To decorate the stalls, I decided the left one would be for all of your golfing apparel needs, so we have some cleats and a little golfer hat. I don't know if you actually wear cleats while golfing, but I imagine it would work. And then on the right side I used a pearl as the golf ball, and I couldn't think of anything else, so I just used a Nova light for decoration. And then of course this is a place to mini golf, so I added a golf bag in the gray version outside of the little window. And if you didn't know, I'm trying to give each spot on the island their own little KK Slider song to fit the theme, so I added our tape deck on top of a white bottle crate. I haven't picked out a song yet, but I eventually will before the island comes out. Now we can get started on the actual mini golf course, and to start we're going to lay down some of our in-game pathing. For this, I'm just making some random shapes with the in-game pathing that you might see at a mini golf course. And I am alternating between the light dirt and the sand pathing. If you have the designs close to each other like I do, you want to make sure you aren't putting 2 of the same paths next to each other, because they will connect and it will look like one giant blob instead of smaller lines and roundabouts. I'm also making sure to round any of the corners that I can, because when you go golfing you don't really see any 90-degree angles or corners on the courses. And I just continued this whole process for this area, and this is what it looks like so far. On to step number 2, which is to make the golf course into a space-themed golf course, and for this I'm using a moon custom code pattern that I found, and this is actually what inspired this whole build. And I'm just placing them inside of the in-game pathing, and luckily they all have a transparent tile, so they do take shape of the pathing that we have already laid down. I want each of the golf course rounds to look a little different, so I'm making sure to spread out the bigger patterns like the craters and the footprints, and then I just fill in the little gaps with the filler codes. And I just repeated this whole process for the rest of the mini golf course, and this is what we have so far. Then it was time to decorate the lanes, and for this I used a combination of the standee items, like the grass standee, the hedge standee, and the mountains. I tried to use the tree standee, but it didn't make any sense, so I just removed it. I also used some of the space themed items like the astronaut suit, the different kinds of spaceships, and of course a few nova lights and an asteroid. And I'm just focusing all of these items on the snow because I don't want them to block any of the actual golfing areas. If you're new to this island series, each of the stores I'm making on this island is run by one of the villagers, and I decided to have this golf course run by Ruby because if you didn't know, her house is already space themed, so I thought it was fitting to give her her own little space themed store of some sort. I'm also planning to decorate all of the houses to match the stores, so when you go inside it feels like you're going inside of the store that they run. So for Ruby, I don't know if I wanted to make a fun little space themed store for golfing items, or if I wanted to make a spot for you to grab all of your snacks, which would go with the little tables that are on the outside of the store. But let me know in the comments if I should go for the more golf store themed items or a snack spot for the inside of Ruby's house, or if you have any other ideas, leave them down in the comments below because I'm open to them. To finish the decorations off in this area, I added another golf bag in the gray version, and then in the entrance I added a plain party lights arch to make the entrance a little bit more fancy. Then we're on our final two details for the golf course. This first one is to add a little flag at the end of each round so you know where to hit your ball, and for this flag I made a custom design of a black and white star design. I figured the star matched the space theme. I like that the flags are black because they stand out a little bit, because most of our codes and our decorations are on the lighter side, so the flags being a dark black really stand out, and I like that. And now our final step is to add all of the golf balls, and like I did for the stall outside of the store, I'm using a pearl as the golf ball. And I'm just randomly dropping these around the course, and I made sure not to add one to each of the rounds and just kept it a little random. One thing I liked about using the pearls is that the pearls are a dropped item so you can walk over them, so it adds to the detail without blocking the walkway and preventing you from seeing the whole golf course. And here's the final build. But that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Before you leave, make sure to give the video a like, comment, and to subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, make sure to check out all the other builds we've made on this island so far. And if you watched till the end of the video, let me know if you've ever been mini golfing. I used to go to the Congo River golf course all the time as a kid. Bye, friends! Also, here's a quick shout out to all the channel members. If you want to join the ranch, make sure to click that join button down below.